Every life carries a story that began long before today. Some stories were whispered into us by fear. Some were handed down through disappointment. Some were written in moments when the world convinced us that our dreams belonged to someone else. And if you have come here believing you are stuck, perhaps what has truly stopped moving is not your life, but the story you have been telling yourself about what is possible. There is a quiet place inside every human being where hope refuses to disappear. It may grow faint beneath years of doubt, rejection, and waiting, but it never truly leaves. It waits patiently, asking only that you listen again, not to the loud voices that measure your worth by your failures, but to the softer voice that remembers who you were before fear became your companion. You may believe that your dream life is somewhere far away, hidden behind luck, perfect timing, or extraordinary talent. Yet the greatest distance is rarely measured in miles. It is measured by the space between the person you believe you are and the person you have the courage to become. Every meaningful transformation begins by crossing that invisible distance. Being stuck is not always a sign that you are lost. Sometimes it is life refusing to let you continue wearing an identity that no longer fits. The old version of you may have carried pain with remarkable strength, survived impossible seasons, and endured silent battles no one else could see. Honor that person. But do not mistake survival for your final destination. Dreams do not grow because we wish harder. They grow because we make room for them. They grow each time we release one fear, choose one brave action, forgive one old wound, or believe one impossible thing for just a little longer than yesterday. The future is not built in one dramatic moment. It is woven together through countless quiet decisions that almost no one notices. So if your heart has been waiting for a sign, let this be it. Let today become the moment you stop asking whether your dreams are too large and begin asking whether your faith in yourself has been too small. The life you imagine is not calling for perfection. It is calling for your presence, your persistence, and your willingness to believe that even now, after every setback, every delay, and every unanswered question, your story is still unfolding towards something far greater than you have dared to imagine. The first prison most people ever enter has no walls, no locks, and no visible guards. It is built from stories repeated so often that they begin to sound like truth. Perhaps someone once told you that you were not smart enough, talented enough, attractive enough, or brave enough. Perhaps failure visited your life so many times that you mistook it for your identity instead of an experience. Over time, these moments gathered into a quiet narrative that followed you everywhere, shaping your decisions before you even realized you had a choice. The tragedy is not that these stories exist. The tragedy is that they are rarely questioned. When a person feels stuck, it is often because they are living according to an old script that no longer reflects who they are capable of becoming. They wake each morning expecting disappointment because disappointment has become familiar. They hesitate before taking opportunities because rejection feels inevitable. They silence their own ideas because somewhere deep inside they have accepted the belief that their voice does not matter. None of these actions happen by accident. They grow from invisible beliefs planted long ago, watered by fear, and protected by habit, every story carries power. The stories we inherit from family, society, childhood experiences, and painful memories become the lenses through which we interpret the world. If you believe life is unfair, every setback becomes proof. If you believe success belongs only to others, every achievement you witness feels like evidence that you have been left behind. Your mind quietly searches for confirmation, collecting moments that strengthen the narrative while ignoring those that challenge it. In this way, a false story can become stronger than reality itself. The remarkable truth is that stories are written, and what is written can be rewritten. This does not mean pretending that pain never happened or denying the hardships that shaped you. It means refusing to let yesterday's wounds decide tomorrow's possibilities. Your past deserves acknowledgement, but it does not deserve permanent authority over your future. Every chapter of your life has influenced you, yet no single chapter has the right to define the entire book. Rewriting your story begins with awareness. Notice the words that rise automatically whenever you dream about something bigger. Listen for the quiet sentences that begin with, I can't, I'm not, or people like me never. Those thoughts often reveal beliefs that have been accepted without examination. Ask yourself who first taught you those ideas and whether they have ever truly been proven. More often than not, you will discover they belong to someone else's fear rather than your own potential. Once you recognize these hidden narratives, you can begin replacing them with stories rooted in growth instead of limitation. Instead of saying, I always fail, remind yourself, I am learning through every attempt. Instead of believing nothing ever changes, choose to see every small decision as evidence that transformation is already unfolding. These new stories may feel unfamiliar at first, but every lasting change begins with language that sounds impossible until it becomes natural. The life you create tomorrow will always follow the story you choose to believe today. Because every meaningful transformation begins in the unseen place where belief quietly becomes direction. A dream does not begin the day it appears in your hands. It begins the moment you decide you are worthy of reaching for it. Many people spend years chasing opportunities while quietly believing they do not deserve success, happiness, peace, or abundance. They work tirelessly, yet every step forward is shadowed by doubt. Deep inside, they carry the fear that if something wonderful were to happen, it would eventually be taken away because it was never truly meant for them. This invisible conflict creates a life where effort and self-belief move in opposite directions. Worthiness is not something awarded by achievement. It does not arrive with wealth, recognition, or applause. It exists long before any external success appears. Yet countless people postpone believing in themselves until they receive proof from the outside world. They tell themselves they will feel confident after they succeed, valuable after they are accepted, or complete after they accomplish a particular goal. The heart, however, does not work that way. Confidence is often the seed, not the harvest. The belief that you belong in the life you desire becomes the quiet force that guides every choice you make. When you believe you are worthy, your relationship with possibility begins to change. You stop shrinking your dreams to fit other people's expectations. You stop apologizing for wanting more from life. Instead of seeing opportunities as accidents reserved for a fortunate few, you begin recognizing them as invitations that you have every right to accept. This shift may appear small, but it transforms the way you think, speak, and act. You become more willing to take risks because rejection no longer feels like proof of your inadequacy. It becomes part of the journey rather than the definition of your identity. Many people unknowingly reject the very future they long for because they have accepted stories of unworthiness. They hesitate to apply for meaningful opportunities, delay pursuing creative passions, remain in unhealthy relationships, or settle for lives that feel too small. They mistake comfort for safety and limitation for realism. Yet beneath these choices is often one quiet question: who am I to believe I deserve something greater? The answer is simple. You deserve to grow because growth is part of being alive. You deserve joy because your existence is not meant to be measured only by struggle. You deserve to dream because imagination is one of humanity's greatest gifts. Believing in your worth does not mean believing you are perfect. It means understanding that your imperfections do not disqualify you from becoming more. Every accomplished person has faced moments of uncertainty, failure, and fear. The difference is not that they escaped those experiences, but that they refused to let them become permanent verdicts. They chose to keep walking even when confidence was incomplete. Your dreams respond to the person you are becoming. Each act of self-respect strengthens your ability to recognize opportunity. Each moment of courage teaches your mind that you are capable of more than yesterday. Every time you choose hope over self-doubt, you create space for new possibilities to enter your life. The future begins changing long before circumstances do, because the greatest transformation happens when your heart finally accepts that it has never needed permission to pursue a life filled with purpose, abundance, love, and possibility. Discomfort has a way of convincing us that something is wrong. The moment life becomes uncertain, unfamiliar, or demanding, our first instinct is often to retreat toward what feels safe. We cling to routines that no longer inspire us, relationships that no longer nourish us, and beliefs that no longer help us grow simply because they are familiar. Yet comfort and growth rarely occupy the same space. The life you dream about exists beyond the boundaries of what you already know, and crossing those boundaries always requires stepping into uncertainty. Many people wait until they feel fearless before making an important decision. They believe confidence must come first, followed by action. In reality, the opposite is often true. Courage is born in motion. The person who eventually appears confident was once someone who took trembling steps into the unknown. Every meaningful achievement begins with a moment when certainty is absent, but hope is strong enough to keep moving. Fear is not evidence that you are on the wrong path. Sometimes it is the clearest sign that you are approaching a new version of yourself. Think about the moments that have shaped your life most deeply. They were probably not the days when everything was easy and predictable. They were the seasons that demanded resilience, patience, and faith. They challenged your assumptions, stretched your character, and forced you to discover strengths you never knew existed. Although those experiences may have been painful, they also revealed abilities that comfort could never have uncovered. Growth has always asked for something before it gives something. Discomfort teaches lessons that success alone cannot provide. It develops patience when results arrive slowly. It builds humility by reminding us that learning never truly ends. It creates compassion because struggle allows us to understand the silent battles carried by others. It also strengthens perseverance, proving that endurance is often more valuable than immediate talent. These qualities cannot be purchased or inherited. They are earned through moments when giving up seems easier than continuing. One of the greatest mistakes people make is interpreting discomfort as failure. A difficult conversation, a new responsibility, a bold career move, or the pursuit of an impossible dream may all feel overwhelming at first. That feeling does not mean you are incapable. It simply means you are expanding beyond old limitations. Just as muscles become stronger after resistance, the human spirit becomes wiser through challenge. Every uncomfortable step reshapes your understanding of what you can endure and achieve. The path toward your dream life will rarely feel convenient. There will be days when progress seems invisible and moments when doubt whispers louder than hope. During those times, remember that transformation often happens beneath the surface before it becomes visible to the world. A seed spends time hidden in darkness before it breaks through the soil. Its silence is not inactivity but preparation. In much the same way, your seasons of uncertainty may be preparing you for opportunities that require greater strength, wisdom, and resilience than you currently possess. Instead of asking how to avoid discomfort, begin asking what it is trying to teach you. Every challenge carries a lesson wrapped inside resistance. Every fear points toward an opportunity to grow beyond the boundaries of your current identity. The life you seek is not waiting on the other side of perfect conditions, but on the other side of your willingness to remain present when life feels uncertain, trusting that every uncomfortable step is quietly shaping the person your dreams have been waiting for. People often imagine transformation as a single dramatic moment, a breakthrough that changes everything overnight. They picture one opportunity, one decision, one lucky encounter that suddenly turns an ordinary life into an extraordinary one. While such moments can happen, they are rarely what creates lasting change. More often, the life you admire is built through small, intentional choices repeated with consistency. These choices may appear insignificant on their own, but together they become the foundation of a completely different future. Every morning offers an opportunity to make a decision that your future self will appreciate. Choosing to wake up with purpose instead of delay. Reading a few pages instead of scrolling endlessly, speaking kindly to yourself instead of repeating old criticisms, or taking one meaningful step toward a dream instead of waiting for perfect motivation may seem too small to matter. Yet life is shaped less by extraordinary events than by ordinary habits. What you do consistently becomes more powerful than what you do occasionally. The beauty of small choices is that they remove the pressure of perfection. Many people abandon their dreams because they believe success requires giant leaps. When those leaps feel impossible, they stop moving altogether. They forget that mountains are climbed one step at a time, and that every remarkable accomplishment was once nothing more than a series of modest actions. Progress is not measured by how quickly you arrive, but by whether you continue moving even when the distance ahead feels overwhelming. Intentional living also requires paying attention to the direction of your daily decisions. Every choice is like placing a single brick in the construction of your future. One brick may seem meaningless, but after weeks, months, and years, those bricks become the home you live in. If your daily choices are guided by fear, distraction, or self-doubt, they quietly build a life that reflects those values. If your choices are guided by purpose, discipline, gratitude, and hope, they gradually create a future aligned with your deepest dreams. There will be days when your efforts appear invisible. You may study without immediate results, practice without recognition, save money without seeing dramatic financial change, or care for your well-being without noticing instant improvement. In those moments, it is tempting to believe that nothing is happening, yet meaningful growth often takes place beneath the surface. Just as roots grow silently before a tree reaches toward the sky, your consistent actions are strengthening the unseen parts of your character long before visible success arrives. Small choices also reshape your identity. Every time you honor a commitment, no matter how minor, you teach yourself that you are someone who follows through. Every act of courage, however quiet, becomes evidence that fear does not control your life. Every disciplined decision strengthens trust in yourself. Over time, these moments accumulate until confidence is no longer something you hope to have, but something you have earned through repeated action. The world often celebrates dramatic victories while overlooking the quiet routines that made them possible. Behind every inspiring story are countless mornings when someone chose persistence over excuses, faith over doubt, and action over hesitation. Those choices rarely attracted attention, yet they carried extraordinary power because they were made again and again. Your dream life is not waiting to be discovered in one perfect moment. It is being built through the ordinary decisions you make today, the promises you keep to yourself, the values you practice when no one is watching, and the willingness to believe that even the smallest intentional step has the power to carry you toward a future far greater than anything that can be created by chance alone. Manifesting your dream life is often misunderstood as simply wishing for something with enough intensity that the universe delivers it. While hope and imagination are powerful, they are only the beginning of the journey. Dreams become reality when your inner world and your daily actions begin moving in the same direction. It is not enough to desire a different life while continuing to think, speak, and behave as though change is impossible. Manifestation begins when you become the kind of person who is prepared to recognize, receive, and sustain the opportunities that your dream requires. Every meaningful transformation starts with identity. Before you can live differently, you must begin seeing yourself differently. If you constantly define yourself by your past mistakes, your disappointments, or the opinions of others, those definitions quietly shape every decision you make. You hesitate when opportunity appears because you still believe you are the person who always fails. You reject compliments because they do not match the image you carry within yourself. You settle for less because deep inside you cannot imagine yourself deserving more. Until that identity changes, your circumstances often repeat themselves in different forms. Becoming the person who is ready for your dream does not require pretending to be someone else. It requires uncovering the strength, wisdom, compassion, and resilience that have always existed within you, but may have been buried beneath fear and self-doubt. It means developing habits that reflect the future you want instead of the limitations you have accepted. A person who dreams of peace must practice forgiveness. A person who dreams of success must embrace discipline. A person who dreams of meaningful relationships must learn honesty, patience, and kindness. The future grows naturally from the character you cultivate each day. Preparation is one of the quietest forms of faith. When you prepare before results appear, you declare that you believe your efforts matter. You continue learning even when no one is watching. You improve your skills before the opportunity arrives. You care for your mind and body because you know your dreams will ask something of you. This quiet preparation creates confidence that is rooted not in wishful thinking, but in consistent growth. When the right moment finally arrives, you are not overwhelmed by it because you have already become capable of meeting it. Manifestation also requires releasing what no longer belongs in your life. Old resentments, limiting beliefs, unhealthy comparisons, and constant fear occupy valuable space within your heart and mind. As long as you cling to them, there is little room for new possibilities to flourish. Letting go is not about forgetting the past, but about refusing to let it control the future. Every time you release an old burden, you create space for fresh hope, deeper clarity, and greater courage to enter your life. The path toward your dream will rarely unfold exactly as you imagined. There will be unexpected detours, moments of waiting, and lessons disguised as setbacks. These experiences are not interruptions to your journey. They are often preparing you for responsibilities and opportunities you could not yet handle. Trust grows when you continue moving forward, even without seeing the entire road ahead. Every step taken with purpose strengthens your ability to recognize the doors opening before you. Your dream life is not waiting somewhere beyond your reach. It begins to emerge the moment your thoughts become more hopeful than fearful. Your actions become more intentional than hesitant. And your character grows strong enough to carry the blessings you have been asking for, allowing your future to become a reflection of the person you have patiently, courageously, and faithfully chosen to become.